Have you ever seen how the manipulators crumble when their usual tactics lose their grip on you? They've spent years honing their ability to twist, deceive, and control, turning the emotions of others into pawns in their game. But then you came along, steadfast and unyielding, with an authenticity they couldn't predict. Your unwavering presence, your refusal to bend to their narratives, shatters their facade. They no longer hold the reins. Instead, they're left facing a reality they've tried so hard to avoid, the depth of their own vulnerability. Where they once controlled with ease, now they are forced to confront the very emotions they sought to manipulate, powerless against the strength of your truth. Now, the dynamic has shifted. The one who once played with hearts and minds now finds themselves tangled in their own web, unable to escape the reflection you've unknowingly become. They thought they were the ones in control, the master of emotional manipulation, but now they're haunted by your presence, unable to understand how their carefully constructed defenses have crumbled. You've made them confront the very insecurities they've spent years burying, leaving them vulnerable in ways they never expected. They tried to lure others in with promises of excitement or safety, offering fleeting glimpses of what seems like genuine connection, only to reveal it's a game meant to feed their own emptiness. They draw others into their orbit, making them feel special, seen, and important. But all of it is part of a strategy, calculated to create dependency, to maintain control, and to elevate their fragile ego. But with you, it's different. Your presence has disrupted their cycle, forcing them to face the truth they've been avoiding. Once they've secured their control, their tactics become more insidious. They pull back, withholding affection, attention, and support, leaving their target suspended in uncertainty, questioning their worth and value. It's a calculated maneuver, a quiet power play designed to weaken the spirit of those they've ensnared. The more their victims try to make sense of the erratic behavior or work to repair the fractured connection, the more the manipulator feels validated in their dominance. This dynamic, the constant back and forth, feeds their ego and cements their belief in their superiority. It's a cycle of emotional deprivation and false affection, where the target's self-esteem is chipped away, and the manipulator grows bolder, seeing their power grow with each moment of confusion they instigate. Beneath it all, however, lies a deep fear, exposure. The one thing they can't control is the truth, and if it were to come to light, their fragile construct of power would collapse in an instant. The truth is their kryptonite, the one force they cannot manipulate or bend to their will. It threatens to unravel the intricate web of deceit they've woven to maintain control. Masters of distraction, they thrive on deflecting attention away from their own vulnerabilities, shifting the blame onto others to maintain the illusion of perfection. With every accusation, they deflect, twist reality, and cloud the minds of those who question them, leaving a trail of confusion and doubt in their wake. When confronted with the truth, they are quick to dismiss, resorting to anger, manipulation, or even calculated charm to disarm their accuser. They know that the only way to preserve their dominance is to keep their victims questioning their own perceptions, making them doubt their own truth until the manipulator's lies feel more real than reality itself. At their core, manipulative individuals are prisoners of their own design, trapped by their insatiable need for control. This constant craving for dominance isolates them, preventing any true connection or meaningful growth. They are like parasites, feeding off the shadows of vulnerability, thriving only when darkness obscures the truth. But when you stand firm in your authenticity, shedding the light of clarity and self-awareness on their deceitful tactics, their power evaporates. The very strategies they once used to manipulate and destabilize others fall apart, rendered powerless in the face of unwavering strength and insight. By refusing to play their game and recognizing their patterns for what they are, you expose the hollowness of their facade, leaving them vulnerable and unable to hold on to the control they so desperately seek. They are magnetically drawn to your presence, not because of who you are, but because of what your energy embodies, a mirror they cannot escape. Your authenticity shines so brightly, it forces them to face the emptiness they've spent their lives avoiding. Where others bend under the weight of their manipulation, you stand firm, unaffected by their theatrics. Your refusal to engage in their twisted games shatters their illusion of control like a thunderclap, breaking the silence. They are accustomed to pulling the strings of others, orchestrating confusion and dependency, but your discernment is a blade of clarity, cutting through their deceit with precision, their charm, their calculated vulnerability, their false intimacy. All the weapons they once wielded with ease fall apart in the face of your unwavering truth. You stand unshaken, and in doing so, you expose the fragility of their power, revealing the emptiness behind the mask. In the face of your unyielding presence, their carefully built defenses crumble, leaving them vulnerable and exposed. Stripped of the illusion they once held so tightly, they are forced to confront the darkness they've spent a lifetime avoiding. It is not a mere discomfort, it is a profound unraveling, a death of the self they have tirelessly constructed to shield themselves from the truth. Your refusal to play into their manipulation does more than wound their pride. It obliterates the very foundation of their false identity, dissolving the fortress of deception they've spent years fortifying. They now find themselves adrift in a sea of their own self-doubt, lost in the reflection of their own inadequacy, unable to turn their blame and projection anywhere but inward. The mask has slipped, and in its place there is nothing but the raw reality of their brokenness. In your presence, they are met with a force far greater than any confrontation, a quiet strength that stands firm, unmoved by their attempts to manipulate or provoke. Each move they make, every desperate attempt to draw you into their web, crashes against your unwavering calm. The facade they've so carefully crafted crumbles with every interaction, leaving them exposed and disoriented, unable to control the narrative anymore. They are forced to confront the shattered fragments of their own vulnerabilities, their carefully hidden insecurities laid bare. Your stillness is a reflection of your power, a silent declaration that they can no longer dictate your reality. By refusing to engage, you strip them of the control they once had, leaving them in the emptiness of their own dysfunction. It is not through conflict, but through serenity that you dismantle their illusions, rendering their games meaningless as they suffocate in the suffocating vacuum of your indifference. In your quiet strength, you become an undeniable force, unseen yet unshakable. Your silence is not weakness, but a deliberate proclamation of self-mastery, a refusal to bend to their tactics. In this stillness, they are confronted with the uncomfortable truth that their manipulation cannot take root in your presence. You are a fortress of clarity, unyielding and impenetrable, a living paradox to everything they've built. Every calculated attempt to sway or control you only highlights their powerlessness, as your authenticity and self-awareness expose their fragile attempts at influence. You don't just resist, you disrupt the very foundation of their games, leaving them powerless, caught in the stark contrast between their artifice and your unwavering truth. When they try to impose their will upon you, their tactics unravel as if they were never truly designed to withstand the clarity that radiates from within you. What once worked like a finely tuned mechanism crumbles, exposed as fragile and hollow when faced with your unwavering self-awareness. Their power, built on manipulation and deceit, falters against the solidity of your truth, leaving them disoriented and lost. Unable to comprehend why their usual methods have failed, they spiral into confusion, struggling to regain control over a situation that was never theirs to command. Their sense of authority shatters, and they are left grappling with the stark realization that their influence is impotent in the face of your steadfast resolve. Manipulative forces are accustomed to weaving their narratives, pulling strings, and casting illusions that bind others to their whims. They revel in the comfort of predictability, knowing just how to exploit weaknesses and cultivate dependency. But when they encounter you, they are met with an impenetrable force, a boundary that cannot be crossed. Your presence exposes them for who they truly are, a reflection they cannot avoid. Their carefully crafted personas, their charm, and their calculated strategies all dissolve under the weight of your unwavering authenticity. In that moment, their illusion of control shatters, and they are left raw, confronted by a truth they are powerless to distort. This disarming encounter stirs a deep, uncomfortable response within them, a visceral unraveling of the false power they once wielded so easily. They have spent their lives mastering control, never knowing the sting of vulnerability, and now they are consumed by it. The feeling of powerlessness gnaws at their very essence, a sensation so foreign to them it disrupts the balance they have so carefully maintained. Your presence stands as a glaring anomaly, a force they cannot bend or manipulate, and this truth burrows deep into their psyche. Obsessed, they fixate on you, their every thought consumed with finding a way to regain the dominance they once held. Yet, the more they try, the further they fall into chaos, as your refusal to engage in their tactics leaves them spinning in circles, unable to regain their footing. Each failed attempt to reel you in only tightens the grip of their inner unraveling, as they realize there is no game they can play to reclaim what they have lost. Their obsession grows not from any respect for you, but from the urgent need to reclaim the control they once held over you. Every move they make, every tactic they employ is driven by a deep-seated panic at the sight of you standing firm against their influence. They are bewildered by your unwavering resistance, as if your refusal to bend shatters the very foundation of their existence. Unable to comprehend how you remain untouched by their manipulations, they spiral further into desperation. Their identity, constructed on the idea of dominance, begins to crack under the pressure. In a frantic attempt to regain their power, they throw everything at you: charm, guilt, intimidation. But with each failed attempt, your fortress of strength grows higher, more impenetrable. With every unsuccessful effort, they grow more frenzied, their every move a desperate plea to break through the wall you've built. And in that moment, they are forced to confront a vulnerability they have never allowed themselves to feel, a rawness they cannot escape. Their power has always been rooted in the reactions they provoke, manipulating the vulnerabilities of others to keep their control intact. But you stand as an unshakable force, impervious to their tactics. You do not bend, do not respond as they expect, and this silence in the face of their chaos unsettles them. You offer no foothold for their control to take hold, and in that absence, their true emptiness is revealed. The masks they have so carefully worn, the games they have played to mask their insecurities, all crumble under the weight of your unwavering presence. The emptiness they carry, once hidden beneath layers of manipulation, now stands exposed in the light of your truth. Without their usual tactics to cling to, they find themselves exposed, stripped of the illusion that their power ever had substance. Each outburst, each desperate attempt to regain dominance is met with an impenetrable wall of your stillness. Their anger becomes an echo, ricocheting off the strength of your calm, a futile attempt to reassert control over a situation that has already slipped from their grasp. They thrash and flail, but with every move, they only reveal more of their emptiness, their desperation. Your refusal to bend, to react in the way they expect, forces them to face the truth. They have never truly been in control, and now, in the face of your unwavering presence, their masks crumble, leaving them vulnerable and unmoored. In their frantic pursuit to regain control, they only sink deeper into their own turmoil, lost in an endless cycle of obsession that yields no victory. Meanwhile, you stand as an unshakable force, radiating the clarity and truth they cannot fathom. Their attempts to sway or manipulate you only serve to reinforce your strength, turning their desperation into the very fuel that amplifies your presence. Your authenticity is a reflection of something far greater than their petty games, and it stands untouched by their feeble efforts. As they spiral, they are forced to face the painful truth that no amount of manipulation, no tactic, no lie can break what is grounded in divine purpose and truth. Their power, built on illusions, crumbles under the weight of your unwavering foundation. You carry within you a power so sharp it slices through deception as if it were mere paper, leaving no room for the falsehoods to linger. Your intuition is a force of nature, an undeniable presence that cuts through the veils of pretense, revealing the hidden truth beneath. Those who thrive on manipulation and charm approach with their usual weapons, believing their strategies will ensnare you as they've done to so many before. But you, the chosen ones, your emotional intelligence is a shield, unbreakable and unwavering, that guards you against the deceitful games played by those who thrive on confusion and manipulation. They attempt to ensnare you with subtle tactics, weaving a web designed to bind your emotions and create dependency, but you see through their schemes with the clarity of one who understands the depths of human nature. You do not fall prey to their traps, for you recognize the hollowness of their attempts, empty efforts to fill the void within themselves by siphoning your energy. Their charm flickers weakly, unable to withstand the fiery blaze of your authenticity. While they try to stir the waters of your soul, you remain a steadfast river, unmoved by their attempts to muddy the depths. You are not captivated by the shallow allure of appearances, but by the depth of energy and truth that lies beneath the surface. When you sense that authenticity is absent, you do not engage, you simply walk away, leaving them stranded in the void of your absence. Your presence is a revelation that disrupts their carefully constructed world, and they are forced to confront what they have hidden in the darkness. They are accustomed to moving unnoticed, weaving their manipulations like silent threads, but you see through them with an unwavering clarity. You reveal the strings they pull, the lies they weave, and the games they play, stripping them of the power they once wielded in the shadows. This exposure is like a searing light, burning away the facades, leaving them no place to hide. When their charm fails to captivate you and their manipulations lose their grip, they are left in disarray, unsure of their next move. Your refusal to bend to their whims strips them of the control they once believed they held, crumbling their facade into fragments. You don't need to engage with them directly. Your very presence, grounded in truth and aligned with your intuition, forces them to face an uncomfortable reality. They can no longer prey on you. Their tactics, once so effective, are rendered futile in the face of someone unwavering in their authenticity. They are like waves endlessly crashing against a solid cliff, unrelenting but powerless to erode the unshakable foundation beneath. In their desperation, they may escalate their efforts, pushing their strategies to extremes, but each move only exposes their unraveling grip on control. Their actions become frantic, their calm facade crumbling as they realize you cannot be swayed. They are accustomed to shaping the world around them, weaving narratives where they hold the power, but with you, they lose their footing. Their charm, their masked vulnerability, and even their subtle threats all fall flat, powerless in the face of your unwavering authenticity. You do not need to engage directly, you simply stand in your truth, and in doing so, reflect their manipulation back at them, leaving them confronted with the emptiness of their own tactics. In the face of your unyielding clarity, they are compelled to confront a truth they cannot deny. They are powerless against someone who cannot be manipulated. This realization shatters them, leaving them unsettled and broken, for their entire sense of self has been built upon domination and control. As they try to cling to their old methods, they watch in disbelief as their once formidable tactics, those strategies that once seemed invincible, collapse like fragile sandcastles swept away by the tide. You do not meet their force with force, you do not engage in their games. Your strength lies not in loud declarations or confrontation, but in your unwavering commitment to truth. In your silence and steadfastness, you strip them of their ability to control, disarming them with the quiet power of your authenticity. In your presence, they are confronted with the futility of their manipulations. Their charm, once a tool of control, fails to sway someone who values substance over superficial allure. Their tactics, honed over years of deception, falter against the unshakable foundation of your inner power. You stand rooted in your authenticity, an immovable force that cannot be manipulated. Your intuition and discernment act as an impenetrable shield, rendering their every move ineffective. As they scramble in confusion, their attempts to deceive crumble before your unwavering clarity, exposing their lies for what they are. By staying true to yourself, you do not simply endure their games, you dismantle them completely, leaving them to face the wreckage of their failed schemes and shattered illusions. Your presence is a catalyst for revelation, a force that shakes the very core of the illusions manipulators cling to. Their carefully crafted confidence, built on layers of deceit, fractures under the weight of your unyielding authenticity. The patterns they've honed over time, once reliable in their manipulation of others, falter before your clarity. You do not bend to their games. Instead, you stand as a mirror, reflecting their true nature with such brilliance that it overwhelms them. Where they thrive on control, attempting to bend reality to suit their desires, your unwavering truth becomes the lens through which they are forced to see their own deceit, stripping them of the power they thought they held. When they face you, their control begins to unravel, slipping through their grasp like sand through fingers. You do not submit to their tactics, nor do you react as they expect, and this throws them into a state of disarray. They are forced to reckon with a feeling they are unaccustomed to, powerlessness. It gnaws at them, exposing the fragile insecurities they've hidden for so long beneath their elaborate facades. Your resistance is not loud, nor is it aggressive. It is a quiet, unwavering force that remains unshaken by their schemes. This stillness becomes a storm in their mind, eroding their strategies from the inside out, leaving them defenseless against the truth you embody. With each attempt to regain control, they are met not with resistance, but with a profound absence of vulnerability, an unshakable wall of self-awareness that leaves them disarmed. They begin to falter, questioning the very strategies that once gave them power. The charm that once captivated now feels shallow, their manipulations fall flat, and the confidence they once exuded begins to crack. In your presence, the illusion of their control evaporates, and they are faced with an uncomfortable truth: they cannot bend you. For some, this realization marks a turning point. Stripped of their false narratives, they are forced to confront the darkness within, the very patterns they've relied on to hide their insecurities. Your unwavering truth becomes the catalyst for an internal shift, igniting a spark of possibility, of transformation. Beneath the surface of their anger, confusion, or despair, there lies a flicker of hope, a chance, however fleeting, to change. In the face of your unwavering presence, they are confronted with an undeniable choice: to persist in their manipulative ways, now futile and crumbling under the weight of truth, or to confront the flaws they've spent their lives masking and seek a path of authenticity. The transformation may not come easily, and for some, the temptation to remain entrenched in old patterns is strong. Yet, the option for change stands before them, clear, unyielding, and impossible to ignore. Even for those who turn away from it, your presence leaves a permanent imprint on their psyche, a reminder that their illusions can no longer protect them. Whether they choose to evolve or resist, they can never erase the quiet revolution you have sparked within them. The tactics they once wielded with effortless precision now feel clumsy, their moves uncertain and filled with hesitation. The certainty that once defined their manipulation has been replaced by an insidious doubt, a quiet unease that gnaws at their confidence. You have shattered the rhythm they relied on, dismantling the patterns they thought invincible. Though they may try to return to their old ways, the cracks in their facade remain, impossible to ignore, silent reminders of the power they encountered but could not conquer. That disruption is not temporary. It is a mark on their soul, a permanent shift in their ability to control, and the foundation of their manipulation is forever weakened. You have planted a seed of truth in their minds, one that will grow into an enduring awareness they cannot escape. The illusion of their control is forever fractured, and though they may try to move on as if nothing has changed, the weight of this encounter follows them like a shadow. Every interaction is now tainted by the memory of your resistance, a quiet force that lingers in their consciousness, undermining their attempts to manipulate. For you, this moment is not just a victory. It is a reinforcement of your power. You do not need to force the dismantling of their illusions. Your authenticity does that effortlessly. While they are tangled in their own disarray, you stand unwavering, rooted in the truth of who you are, untouched by their games. Your clarity is the shield that shields you, and their attempts to sway you are nothing but fleeting winds against an immovable mountain. Your purpose is not to heal their wounds or carry the weight of their growth. That is theirs alone to confront. You are the beacon that shines through their shadows, the truth that shatters their carefully crafted facades. As you move forward, you leave behind a trail of broken cycles, a legacy written in the disruption of their manipulation. Your presence stands as a monument to the strength of being true to yourself, an unwavering testament to the undeniable power of authenticity. You need not wrestle with their journey. Your mere existence and refusal to be swayed serve as the catalyst for their unraveling. You walk in your purpose, a force of clarity, leaving behind only what was meant to be, broken illusions and an unshakable truth. Chosen ones, your presence is a force of nature, a relentless wave that washes away the masks of manipulation and falsehoods. You do not just participate in the world, you reshape it with every step, challenging the very fabric of deceit that others cling to. Your clarity shines like a beacon in the darkness, illuminating what was once hidden, revealing the lies that thrive in the shadows. Your strength is a silent thunder, undeniable and unyielding, reminding the world that some cannot be bent or controlled. Those who seek to deceive you are met with a force they cannot overcome, their schemes crumbling under the weight of your unwavering authenticity. You are not just a witness to their games, you are the catalyst that ends them. Your strength is not a mere byproduct of circumstance, but the result of deep-rooted wisdom and divine purpose. Every choice you make, every boundary you set, serves to reinforce the unshakable foundation beneath you. You are a force that cannot be manipulated, a light that refuses to be dimmed. As you move through the world, you do not just avoid harm, you actively dismantle the structures that seek to control and confine, leaving behind a trail of profound transformation. Some will be awakened by your energy, choosing to rise and evolve. Others will be overwhelmed, unable to face the truths you bring to light. But through it all, you remain resolute, untouched by their resistance, guided by a power that transcends all earthly schemes. Trust in the clarity that resides within you, for you are a beacon of truth amidst the shadows. When you stand firm in your power, no illusion can hold sway over you. Your energy is both the armor that protects you and the gift that illuminates the path for others to follow. Your light inspires transformation, encouraging those around you to rise above fear and deceit. By simply being who you are, you declare that truth is invincible, that authenticity is a weapon stronger than any falsehood. With each step you take, you shatter the darkness, reminding the world that no force of manipulation can survive the brilliance of your soul. As you continue forward on your journey, walk with the assurance that your presence ripples through the world in ways you may never fully see. Now is the moment to let your voice rise, to share the stories of your victories over adversity and the strength you've discovered in dismantling deception. Your truth is a beacon, one that others desperately need to witness. Speak with courage, for your experiences are more than just your own. They are a source of light for those still seeking their own power. In voicing your journey, you become the catalyst for others' awakening, amplifying a force that no darkness can overcome.